Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It is March 30th, 2023 and it's reported that Xavi could be trying out Eric Garcia in a pivot position. Also, it's reported that Chelsea will be willing to let Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang leave on a free transfer so he can join Barcelona. And finally, the club are currently working on closing a deal to try to offload Lenglet. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and yesterday we had the first official Barca News live stream where, in my opinion, was a total success. So thanks to all of you who joined and participated in the live stream, and also thanks to all of you who watched it after the live stream ended. I left a poll in the community tab asking everybody if they enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know. And if you didn't, also let me know. And if you could leave a comment also letting me know what kind of suggestions you have to improve it. As always, I love to hear from all of you guys, and I love to hear your suggestions because after all, I want to make the best kind of content for you guys to enjoy. Now we begin with the news that Barcelona have officially met with all the Espai Barca investors, where the investors made Barcelona a new offer that the club will now study. Now, I talked about this 2 days ago on Tuesday, saying that Joan Laporte has scheduled a meeting with the Espai Barca investors in order to discuss the whole Enrique Negreira case. And that meeting took place today. And after that meeting, it seemed that Espai Barca investors made Barcelona a new proposal for the funding of the Espai Barca. Now, Espai Barca, as you already know, is the complete overhaul and modernization of the Spotify Camp Nou and all the Barcelona sporting facilities. And this project will cost Barcelona 1.5 billion euros. And of course, Barcelona have had to get investors in order to fund this project. Now, two of the biggest investors are Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. And it seems that these two investors made Barcelona a new proposal for the funding of the Espai Barca. And this proposal is structured this way. Now, 500 million euros will be loaned out on a short-term basis, which means that Barcelona are going to have to pay this 500 million euros in 5 years with a 6% interest rate. The next 500 million euros will be loaned out on a medium-term basis with an interest rate of 5%. And finally, the remaining 500 million euros will be loaned on a long-term basis, which means that Barcelona are going to have 25 years to pay back this portion on an interest rate below 5%. Now, Barcelona are going to study this structure and then let the investors know. And this, of course, this proposal will have to be approved by all the club, by a majority vote from the club members. Now, Barcelona do have a B plan in case they don't want to proceed with Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. And the B plan is a K Capital, which is the same investor who helped Real Madrid renovate the Santiago Bernabeu. Now, Barcelona estimate that with the new Espai Barca, they're going to be able to generate 347 million euros every year, which is 176 million euros more than what the Spotify Camp Nou is currently generating. Now, the major renovation work will start next season as Barcelona are planning to move to the Olympic Stadium at Montjuic. And today, Barcelona have officially notified the Royal Spanish Football Federation of their move to the Montjuic Stadium next season. So that way, the Royal Spanish Football Federation can begin preparations such as the installation of the VAR equipment and all the headquarters for the referees in the new in the stadium that Barcelona are gonna be using next season, while the Spotify Camp Nou undergoes major renovations. Now, on to the news that's been reported that Xavi will be trying out Eric Garcia in a pivot position during the upcoming trainings. Now, one of you mentioned yesterday during the live stream in the comment section that Xavi should try out Eric Garcia, and I said that I hadn't heard any news, but I was gonna look into it. And today, reports have come out confirming this news that Xavi will be trying out Eric Garcia in a pivot position. Now, Xavi seems to think that Eric Garcia is a very talented center back who unfortunately has not been getting much playing time lately because of the kind of competition that there is in those positions. You know, players like Koundé, Araujo, and Christensen. And as such, Xavi doesn't want to waste Eric Garcia's talent, and he wants to try him out in the pivot position because Xavi thinks that Eric Garcia has a very good reading of the game. He has very good positioning, and he has a very good ball clearance. So he thinks that he might work out in a pivot position. And I say, why not try him out there? After all, as I said in my live stream, I am a big fan of Eric Garcia. I think he's a very talented player. He's had really good matches last season, but unfortunately, he did make mistakes. But we all forget that he's only 22 years old, and players at that age are bound to make mistakes. In fact, Ronald Araujo made a lot of mistakes last season as a first-team player, so much so that a lot of fans were saying that Ronald Araujo was not good enough. But with time, Ronald Araujo learned from his mistakes, and now he's one of the best center backs in the world. And I think that Eric Garcia, given the opportunity, could also become a really good player for Barcelona. But unfortunately, he hasn't gotten enough playing time to learn from his mistakes. So why not see if he can play in a different position and maybe even save money while doing it? Because if Barcelona can have Eric Garcia replace Busquets, then we could save money on any new signings. Now on to the news that Sofiane Amrabat is reportedly willing to wait for Barcelona until the final moments of the summer transfer market. Barcelona attempted to sign the Moroccan midfielder during the winter transfer market, and when everything was agreed to and it seemed that Sofiane Amrabat will become a Barcelona player, Javier Tebas informed the club that they weren't going to be able to make the signing because there wasn't enough space on the wage bill. So unfortunately, this whole deal fell apart. Well, it seems that Sofiane Amrabat is still dying to come to Barcelona, and it's reported that he'd be willing to wait for the club until the final moments of the summer transfer market. And even though there are reports saying that Atletico Madrid are very interested in the Moroccan midfielder, all Sofiane Amrabat can think about is coming to Barcelona, so he's going to be waiting for the club until the final moments. Now, unfortunately, Sofiane Amrabat is not a priority right now for Barcelona because the club think that the Fiorentina are going to want around 40 million euros for the Moroccan midfielder, which is, of course, a lot of money that Barcelona simply cannot afford. Now, it's reported that Sofiane Amrabat is willing to force his way out of his current club, Fiorentina, to try to force some to negotiate a lower transfer fee, and that he's also willing to accept a low salary to come to Barcelona. So we're gonna have to see what happens in the summer, but I highly doubt that Barcelona will be signing the Moroccan midfielder, which is of course unfortunate because I would love to see Sofiane Amrabat in a Barcelona jersey. Now on to the news that Chelsea are willing to let Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang leave on a free transfer so he can join Barcelona. Now, as I reported before, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is dying to come back to Barcelona, and it seems that Chelsea are willing to void his contract to allow him to leave as a free agent. But of course, this wouldn't come on a free as a free gift. Seems that Chelsea would be willing to let this happen as long as Barcelona withdraw from the race for Vitor Roque. Now, it seems that Chelsea are also heavily interested in the 18-year-old Brazilian, and since Vitor Roque has made it very clear that he wants to come to Barcelona, Chelsea would be willing to let Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang leave for free as long as that Barcelona withdraw from the race for the Brazilian star. Now, in my opinion, this would be an absolutely stupid move on behalf of Barcelona if they do this, because you would be sacrificing the potential signing of an 18-year-old in order to get a 34-year-old who is near retirement and who only has 1 or maybe 2 seasons left in his boots. Now, I know a lot of you have always said on the comment section that you would love to see Aubameyang back at the club, but I don't think that would be a good idea because after all, Aubameyang has barely played this season, so if he comes back next season to Barcelona, he's not going to be scoring all those goals that he did while he was at the club, because when a player goes an entire season without playing, it's very hard for them to get back into rhythm and takes them a lot of time. Plus, again, he's 34 years old, so he's gonna be 1 year older than what he was here at Barcelona. And he also only played for 6 months at the club, so I don't know if he does have the stamina to play an entire season. And finally, again, he's 34 years old. He's the same age as Lewandowski, so if we have both of our center forwards around the same age, they're both gonna end up retiring at the same time, which would leave Barcelona with no strikers. Now on to the news that Barcelona are currently working on reaching a deal in order to offload Clement Lenglet. Now Barcelona need to offload several players come this summer in order to reduce their wage bill by 200 million euros so they can continue signing players and register the contracts of the players that they have already renewed. And amongst those players that Barcelona are planning to offload are, of course, many of the loanees that Barcelona currently have in different clubs. Now, one of these loanees that Barcelona are planning to offload is the French center back Clement Lenglet, who's currently on loan with the Tottenham Hotspurs. and it seems that the Premier League club are willing to keep the French defender, so Barcelona are currently in negotiation with them in order to offload Lenglet on a permanent basis. Now, Clement Lenglet did not have consistent minutes throughout this season, but whenever he did play, he did do a good job. So it seems that Tottenham Hotspurs are willing to keep the French defender, and even though they fired their coach Antonio Conte most recently, it seems that the decision to keep Lenglet is coming directly from the club, not from the manager, which is of course good news for Barcelona, because no matter who Tottenham Hotspurs will hire as their next coach, they're still gonna be willing to sign the French defender. Now, Barcelona think that they can offload Clement Lenglet for around 40 million euros, which is of course much welcome in the club's coffers, because Barcelona not only need to offload players to clear space on their wage bill, but they also need to generate more income in order to meet those strict financial fair play rules that Javier Tebas is imposing on the club. Now, speaking of offloading loanees, another player that Barcelona will be offloading is of course Sergino Dest, who's currently on loan with AC Milan, and as I reported before, the Serie A club are not willing to keep the American fullback because he hasn't been getting much playing time, because he hasn't impressed at the Italian club. Now, Sergino Dest has only played 14 matches this season, and he's only started in 5, and his performance has been so lacking at the Serie A team that AC Milan ended up dropping him from the Champions League squad. Now, Barcelona have received a lot of interest from other clubs for Sergino Dest, including Union Berlin in the Bundesliga, also West Ham and Crystal Palace in the Premier League club. And of course, there are reports saying that there are several clubs in the MLS who would also like to bring the fullback back to the United States. Now, despite this interest in Sergino Dest, all the offers that Barcelona have received for the American fullback have been loan offers with the option to buy, and all these options to buy do not exceed the 12 million euros, which is of course a little bit disappointing because Barcelona were hoping to get 20 million euros for Sergino Dest. Now, there have been some rumors saying that Xavi could consider keeping Sergino Dest since the team do want to reinforce the right back position, but I'm here to tell you that those rumors are false. Xavi does not want to have Sergino Dest on his team, and in fact, he would rather not have a right back at all over having the American back on the squad. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.